Hello friends, myself Lakshmi Meena, Assistant Professor English from Government College Chomela, Hyderabad. You are welcome in my YouTube channel. Today we shall read about Going Off written by Joyce, Cary of year third year. We know about Joyce Cary before reading this short story. Arthur Joyce Lunan Cary was born 7th December 1888 and died 29th March 1957. Was an Anglo-Irish novelist. See next paragraph. Arthur Joyce Lunan Cary was born in a hospital in Derry, County Londonderry, in the north of Ireland in 1888. His family had been planter landlords in neighbouring Ingersoll, a peninsula on the north coast of County Donegal, also in Ulster. Since the early years of the plantation of Ulster in the early 17th century, however, the family had largely lost its insolvent property on the western shore of Lough Foyle after the passage of the Irish Land Act in 1882. The family dispersed and Cary had uncles who served in the frontier U.S. Cavalry and the Canadian Northwest Mounted Police. Most of the Cary wound up in Great Britain. Arthur Cary, his father, trained as an engineer and married Charlotte Joyce, the well-to-do daughter of a Belfast banker. After his son was born in 1888, Arthur Cary moved his family to London. Throughout his childhood, Cary spent many summers at his grandmother's house in Ireland and at Cromwell House in England, home of a great uncle, which served as a base for all the Cary clan. Some of his upbringing is described in the fictional memoir A House of Children, was published in 1941, and the novel Castle Corner 1938. Cary Castle, one of the family lost property in Insolvent in Ulster, although Cary remembered his best Ulster childhood with affection and wrote about it with great feeling. He was based in England for the rest of his life. The feeling of displacement and the idea that life tranquility may be disturbed at any moment marked Cary, and informs much of his writing. His health was poor. As a child, he was subject to asthma, which recurred throughout his life and was nearly blind in one eye, which caused him to wear a monocle when he was in his 20s. Cary was educated at Clifton College, Bristol, England, where he was a member of Deacon's House. His mother died during this period, leaving him a small legacy which served as his financial base until the 1930s. In 1906, determined to be an artist, Cary traveled to Paris, discovering that he needed more technical training. Cary then studied art in Edinburgh. Soon enough, he determined that he could never be more than a third-rate painter and decided to apply himself to literature. He published a volume of poems which, by his own later account, was pretty bad, and then entered Trinity College, Oxford. There he became friends with fellow student John Middleton Moody and introduced Moody to Paris on a holiday together. He neglected his studies and graduated from Oxford with a fourth class degree. Now see the story of a going journey. The story at hand by Joyce Cary revolves around the theme of growing up. Apart from the physical growth of the teenage girls, Kate and Jenny, the story also focuses on the emotional growing up of their middle-aged father, Robert Cary, our protagonist of the story. Next it. The story at hand by Joyce Cary revolves around the theme of growing up. Apart from the physical growth of the teenage girls, Kate and Jenny, the story also focuses on the emotional growing up of their middle age. Father Reverend Robert Cary, our protagonist of the story. The story, having a simple outline, begins with Robert returning home from a business trip for the weekend. He finds a note from his wife that the two girls, Kate and Jenny, their daughters, were in the garden and that he would be back by 4. Expecting a warm welcome from the girls, he at once made up for the garden. Again, see it. The story, having a simple outline, begins with Robert returning home from a business trip for the weekend. He finds a note for his wife that two girls, Kate and Jenny, their daughters, were in the garden and that he would be back by 4. Expecting a warm welcome from the girls, he at once made for the garden. See next paragraph. The author then gives a brief description of the Kids garden, which seemed to be a wilderness, except for a small vegetable patch near the pond and one bed where Mrs. grew flowers for the house. It had not been touched for years. The excuse for the neglect was that the garden belonged to the children, while the truth was that neither of the kids cared for the garden. However, the excuse had eventually come true, and the garden belonged to the children, with all its unshaven grass suggesting a bit of real world country, or a place for picnics. As Robert, through he went to garden to find his two little girls lost in his own world. He greeted them but got no response, and for a moment he thought that they may have missed him. A little disappointed and dismayed, he recollected that the last time when he had missed the girls 2 years before, first he caught the sight of Jenny, the younger of the two, lying on her stomach by the pond with a book under her nose. She was 12 and had lately taken furiously to reading. He made for the pond with a long stick, calling out and waving to her. See next paragraph. He now saw Kate sitting with an air of laziness and concentration on the swing, learning sideways, against a rope with her head down, apparently in deep thought. Her bare legs were clothed with mud, with one foot hooked over the other, as she replied in a faint muffled voice to her father's, calling really looking at him. He now saw Kate sitting with an air of laziness and concentration on the swing, learning sideways, against a rope with her head down, apparently in deep thought. Her bare legs were clothed with mud with one foot. Looked over the other as she replied in a faint muffled voice to her father's calling, barely looking at him. See next paragraph. Although his daughters took no notice of him, Mr. Cook, never the one to demand affection, brought out a deck chair and began to read the morning paper. He generally believed that his daughters were naturally impulsive and affectionate and could grow up to exciting women. Repeat it this paragraph. Although his daughters took no notice of it, Mr. Cook, never the one to demand affection, brought out a deck chair and began to read the morning paper. He generally believed that his daughters were naturally impulsive and affectionate and would grow up to agility women.